What is up, guys? It's your boy Asher here with another review, and today I will be revisiting the album The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. And to be honest with you, I'm just gonna wear my heart on my sleeve for this one. This definitely will come with a bias. I can't act like I'm gonna be some grandiose critic or whatever with this album, because this album means a whole lot to me. It's seriously one of my favorite albums. I remember the exact day I listened to this album. I don't remember the date. It's not like I remember times and shit like that. But it was some day in 2016. I was at the mall shopping with my family. It was, nothing grandiose. Nothing really too exciting happened that day, I just checked out some cool new mall, but it was really this album that made my day. It was so impactful on my life. It's so meaningful that it's become one of my core memories, so a memory I like to revisit from time to time. And that within itself shows how impactful this album really is, how moving it is, and how beautiful it is, because it's just, that within itself, that's pretty huge, to be able to move somebody like that and create a lasting memory. But on top of that, I just decided to revisit it today for shits and giggles. I was just like, I need an album to listen to. I need something to listen to while I'm fucking smoking weed. So I decided to listen to the song The Suburbs by Arcade Fire. And it finished playing while I was still out there smoking. I was like, fuck it, I'll just let the album play. And I just got into it, man. It was more than getting into a groove or a vibe. It really took me back to that day in 2016 when I was in the mall. It took me back to those exact same feelings, that exact same mindset, that exact hopefulness, that inspiration. Because I don't want to bore you with the details, but I'm personally trying to write a screenplay right now. Well, I already wrote one, so I'm trying to write the second part to it. And I was just listening to this album throughout, and it was one of the greatest sources of inspiration I've ever had, to be completely honest with you. I love music, if it's not evident with all the reviews I do, but the fact that this album can make me feel exactly the same way I did when I first listened to it, that just blows me away. Not only did it create a memory that I will forever love, that I wasn't on anything, nothing grandiose happened, I wasn't on drugs, it's just a simple, nice memory. And every single time I listen to it, I go back to that mindset. It's like I'm back in that mall. It's like I'm 17 again. Wow, that's really nice to say. This album makes me feel like I'm 17 again. It makes me feel like I'm young again. It puts me back in that full of life, hopeful, confident, happy mindset. And that's just moving. Holy shit. That just transcends basic listening to music. That transcends, just soulless critiques that I could give. That transcends everything. This is love. I'll be completely honest with you. That first time I listened to the album, I had fallen in love. I was in love, I was in love at the time, and I was full of love, and I fell in love with this album. And to this day, I'm still in love with this album. It's just being able to capture your youth again. That's something so rare, especially when you're growing older and you're reaching those milestones. The expectations are so much more higher, and it's hard to really cope with it. But having something to unwind with that, isn't fucking drugs or isn't like sex or anything unhealthy. Just listening to fucking music. That's just amazing. That's this album, really. This album is one of the main reasons I love music, and I'm in love with music, and I try to make music, and I surround my life with music because of these emotions, these memories, these feelings, these mindsets, these inspiration that it brings to your life. It's this force that just transcends everything I really know. It's everything and nothing at once. And it's just a feeling that somehow is captured and recorded and replayed. And it's godsend. It's wonderful. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Like, this album is beautiful. It's hopeful. It's inspirational. It's sad. It's angry. It's everything all at once. And it's fucking amazing how just one album can capture all of that. Can capture youth in a bottle. And I feel like that's really what this album is. It's like capturing your youth in a bottle and storing it. And being able to like come back to it whenever you feel like it. It's amazing. It's stuff of legend, you know what I mean? It's like the fountain of youth. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm glazing a little too much, I'm sorry. But I fucking love this album. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, there's one song on it I don't like that I was listening today, and I was like, okay, maybe this album can go without this track. I don't remember which one it is. You know, thankfully I can't call it out and be like, this song sucks. But besides that one track that I don't like, I feel like this is like the perfect album. It's like you're living on another plane of existence. Like, all the sadness in you just dissipates, but also becomes this beautiful art form of love and chaos all in one. And damn, this album's making me fucking poetic is all I have to say. Like, this album is love, this album is youth, this album is like a love letter to youth. It's a crime that you can't put into words how amazing this album is. You know, if I had to give it a fucking number rating, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Crazy, right? Like, I'm here glazing the fucking album and I don't give it a perfect 10 out of 10. Like, honestly, it's one of the best albums I've reviewed. It's one of the best anything I've reviewed so far. This is an album I can always go back to, even when I'm like 50 years old. If I make it to 50 years old, you know what I mean? I live a pretty unhealthy life. I could fucking go back to this album and listen to it. I'll feel like I'm 17 again. I'll fall in love with it once again. It's one of those things where every time you listen to it, you fall in love with it over and over and over again. And it just doesn't stop. You just don't get sick of it, you know? You don't get tired of it. So I highly recommend any and everybody to take a listen to this album. Like, even if you think you're above all sorts of alternative rock or pop rock or whatever, this shit is just dreamy. I guarantee you. It shows growing pains. It's like you're able to experience growing up again and, you know, just being a child, youth. Like, there's no way to put it into words. Somehow, like, my childhood wasn't even in the suburbs, but it takes me back to when I was a little kid, you know what I mean? It takes me back to when I was 16, 17. It just takes you back to when you were young and innocent. It's crazy that these talented, amazing people were able to capture that feeling and make a record out of it. So, you know, I definitely commend Arcade Fire. There will always be one of my favorite rock bands. They will always be one of my favorite bands in general. I love them, you know? They're amazing at what they do. They move people, they touch lives. You know, that's inspirational. So, you know, thank you very much. Thank you for everything you guys do. Thank you for watching. And if you could do that basic YouTube stuff, you know, like, comment, subscribe, dislike the video if you dislike it, if you dislike me. If you do like me though, links in the description. If you could please follow my podcast channel, which I will get back to, I swear. I just, you know, there hasn't really been anything interesting to talk about lately, but I will find topics and go back to that channel. I promise you, I will not abandon that channel. Thank you for your time, because your time is precious and valuable, and so are you. And I'm glad I get to spend my time here with you. So, thank you for your time. Much love. Asher out.